Now, the other issue is energy, gasoline prices. You know, I think my opponent wants to cut the speed limit down from 60 down to 60 or 55 miles an hour. And, you know, I think I want to develop nuclear power. I think if you start building nuclear power plants, you're going to send a message to the Middle East that we're serious about solving our problems, and the price of oil will drop. I mean, the price of oil is probably twice as much as what it would cost to produce it. So there's a lot of fat left, even though it's under $100 today. Yeah, I think it could go significantly more if we sent a message to the Middle East, to the cartel, that we're serious about solving our energy problem. We're going to build 45 nuclear plants, and we're going to do it without any greenhouse emissions. That they would say, hey guys, we got to stop charging so much, or these guys are going to start producing oil and nuclear power, and we're not going to have any customers. So you know, it's a debatable question whether the effect is immediate or not, because a lot of the Democrats would argue, well, even if you do it tomorrow, it's not going to have any effect. Well, I think psychological, when you say, hey, I'm serious and I'm going to invest umpteen $1 billion to solve the problem, it's a lot different than saying, well, one of these days we're going to start nuclear power.
Do you think that fundamentally one of the things on the power issue, that certainly the diversification that you've outlined is clearly the course of action that must be taken, and also the areas that in which we are rich in our own natural resources as relates to the current usage of oil reserves, that we ought to certainly aggressively pursue that as well?
Well, you know, I talked to Senator Orrin Hatch, who's from Utah, at the convention, and I grew up in Utah, so it was really funny. I went up to him and I said, Senator, I'm Greg Conlon, I'm running for Congress in California, and I'm from Tooele, Utah. And he looked at me and he said, God bless you. Because Tooele, Utah is a blue-collar town of about 5,000 or 10,000 people, and, you know, it's not exactly the most best area in the state of Utah. But anyway, he was saying that the drilling leases in this country today, half of them are tied up with litigation from environmental lawsuits. And half of the budget for the Bureau of Land Management is strictly for litigation. So the litigation on those leases has at least taken half of those leases that everybody said the oil companies should be drilling on. They can't drill them because they're tied up in court. But the other thing is, you know, the renewables, solar and wind, are two resources that California has led the way. When I was on the commission, we went from virtually no renewables to 11% of California's production were from renewables and alternative energy. So we led the country by, I mean, the next state was like 2 or 3%. So California has been the leader. And we will continue, I'm sure, under the governor today to require more of the same. But it's going to be like 20%. I think he's mandating 20 or 25. But the rest of the country is saying 15%. Well, I think we're already at 15%. So California's taken the lead. But renewables, both wind and solar, have to be pursued along with nuclear power. I don't want to preclude those. I want to do them all, so to speak.